Well, it's about time to get started. Good morning, everybody. Oh, yeah, welcome to another episode of Cadence Podcast, aka Book Club. I'm your host, Caden Kelly. I'm the one man band in this mumbo jumbo of a podcast. I coming at you live from Layton, Utah on Twitch at Alpha Seltzer. I should just stop mentioning that one because only my video game friends are going to find me on that one. I'm also live under Cadence Podcast on YouTube and Facebook for you MFs who are ambitious and hungry and up at 8:15 on a holiday, because we don't take breaks on the holidays because we're out here. We out we out here. So I'm live on YouTube, Facebook, on Twitch. And I'm here to talk about books and life advice, finance advice, self-help advice, all the above. I'm going to fix my camera. I've been jacking up my camera lately to working on some other stuff, which is exciting. No breaks. Yes, sir. Hey, B Moon, good morning. Yeah, that looks better. No breaks. All gas. You know it. It's which is ironic because the book that I'm going to be talking about today is pretty much the exact opposite of that advice, but we're going to talk about it. You got your coffee? Good morning. Good morning, coffee. I learned devastatingly that I have been putting way too much creamer in my coffee, which is probably why it's so tasty. I decided to. It's like one serving size is a tablespoon with this all natural creamer stuff that I have, and I decided to measure out a tablespoon. And I wasn't even close. I was probably putting in 5 tablespoons or 6. No joke. I was putting a lot of creamer, but it was so good. So today and all last week, I've been doing 2 tablespoons ish, just eyeballing 2 tablespoons, because I don't want to go too crazy on the creamer. Because then, now I could actually taste the coffee again. It's kind of sad, but whatever. It's still really good. Let's see. How's everyone doing? President's Day. I was gonna wear a shirt and tie, but I decided not to. I decided to put on a vest instead. So this is still kind of formal, and that's fine. That's good enough. I just got back from Portland, Oregon for a birthday party, and without saying too much, Portland, Oregon is pretty disgusting. And I was my first time visiting there. The city is really cool. Like, the idea of the city is really cool, with the big river that goes through downtown and all the bridges and the landscape, all the houses and buildings built on that hill, the slopes, the trees. It's a really cool idea, but the city is really gross. I've never seen so much garbage in my life. And that's a really privileged thing to say. I haven't seen so much garbage in a city before. Really lucky to have a really clean. I mean, I've seen garbage in Utah, but not even close to what it was like in Oregon. And there are so many tents everywhere. Cities are weird. Cities are so weird. We got to eat at this really cool restaurant. I think it's called Portland City Grill. Is on the 30th floor of some really tall building downtown, and it was beautiful view of the whole city at night with all the lights. It was really cool. And I look out and I see all of the buildings, and I am so awestruck at how much shit there is. Literally, there's a lot of shit in all of those buildings. And it's all moving around everywhere underneath us. It's going somewhere. But like shit for the buildings. We all the rocks, the concrete, the wood, everything, the pipes, everything that goes into building a building, and they're huge, and there's so many of them. It's crazy. And then there's so many people all condensed in these little. It's wild too, because it's not like the city is small. The city's big. There's just people everywhere, tightly packed in. And then there's a bunch of people sleeping on the streets in tents. So many people. There were like neighborhoods of tents. And then there were lots of abandoned neighborhood tents. It was wild. It was really wild. And tons of garbage. But yeah, cities are crazy, man. I guess everyone's got to live where the stuff is, right? You got to live where the water is, where the food is, where the electricity is, where the sewage pipelines are. You got to live where the shit is. It reminds me of that Sam Kinison bit where he's watching that commercial for starving African children, and he says, "Hey, why don't we?" I don't want to murder the bit, but he's like, "Move to where the food is. Maybe you wouldn't be so hungry if you moved where the food is." So that's what everyone wants to live where the food is, and I guess in today's world, it's not so much about where because food is everywhere now. Fuck, there's food in the deserts. When you're driving from here to California all the way through Nevada, there's food. Maybe in between places, but we can move food around now. It used to be that you had to live where the river was, because that's the only water there was available. And then you had to live, and then the farmers had to live there, and there were no trucks to move around food and water. But now we can move our shit around, but we still choose to live in cities. And I think it's because there's lots of action in cities, and like lots of business in cities, and whatever. Anyway, I don't like it. I don't like the city. I don't like any city. I like Salt Lake, kinda, but I don't even want to live in Salt Lake. I want to live. We went to Midway a few weeks ago for dinner. We went to that cool globe place where they have those heated globes. I don't know how to describe it. I don't remember what the place was called, but it was outdoor dining. But instead of we walked into like a big marble, and it was heated, and it was really cool. But Midway is so small. I liked Midway. But you know what? You got to have money it's so weird. You have to have money to live out in the middle of nowhere, because there's nothing. And it's expensive to move all your shit out there, and then how are you going to make money to pay for your shit? There's not a lot of jobs out on farmland in Midway. All those rich houses, I'm guessing, are people moving in here with lots of money, or their ancestors, they're like generation, they're I don't want ancestors isn't the right word, but they've inherited land and inherited money. That's my guess. Like I knew the family in Logan. I didn't know them personally. I had met the daughter of the family that owned that like started the power supply in Logan. I don't even remember. I met her at a party, or maybe I drove past her house and my buddy explained that to me. I don't remember. I know my buddy knew her from class, and we drove past their house, which was a goddamn mansion in Logan, Utah. And their family had something about like bringing electricity into Logan, Utah, something like that. So there's their generation. Anyway, the bottom line is, I think it's easier to live in cities because there's more opportunity for jobs. Even metropolitan areas like Layton, Utah, there's just a bunch of work around here, but there's so many goddamn people. And I want to live around a few people, but I don't want to live around a lot of people. And there's something antsy about being in a crowded space. Everything was super fast paced. Everyone was pissed on the roads, on the streets, in the restaurants. it was fast paced living. It was fast paced living, and it's not for me. It was cool to visit. We did some fun stuff. We went to Helium Comedy Club, and we saw two guys. I don't even remember their names. Two of them were local. One guy was headlining. I don't remember. Brian, Brian something with a P, Plosel, something like that. Maybe. No, Brian's Sidecar. That's what his name was. I don't know. Anyway, the comedy was fun. The dinner was fun. We went to see the Japanese gardens in Portland. That was beautiful, super pretty. Yeah, had some fun. But man, my head hurts. It still hurts from traveling. I got no sleep while I was out there. Just crazy stuff happening all the time. And did some yoga. We did do yoga one day, but they're crazy about masks still, so we had to do yoga with masks. Very unpleasant. Yeah, everyone's over COVID. What else? What else? Do we do? Got some yummy food. Yeah, it's a good time. Portland, not my favorite. Cities, not my favorite. I would love to live out in the have a ranch somewhere, but I also need to have money. I don't know how to make money on a ranch out there somewhere. So, but you could figure it out if you really wanted it, because that's the whole point of living. If you want it, you should go get it, and you should figure it out. And it's not about the money. It's really about having a good time. It's about having a good time. I'm gonna bring this out a little more. There we go. So yeah, how was your weekend, huh? And then we were right back at it. Woke up with a raging headache. It's glad I still got a workout in. My headache went away while I was working out, but it's kind of back now. Ugh. Slept like a little angel baby, though. I thought that would take care of it. Not entirely. I should have taken a nap or something. I should take a nap today. But, your boy's got to clean carpets. All right. Let's move on. Before we talk about the book, I want to just remind everybody that's listening, because I didn't say it earlier, to check out my blog where I talk about the same stuff that I speak, and I do it, in more of a philosophical fashion, trying to find my voice as a writer. I write to my blog on cadenkellysblog.wordpress.com, and I also write to Substack under cadenkelly.substack.com. I think that's the link for Substack. And I'm excited today because I've changed the way I do things. I changed my weekly routines, some of my goals. And if you're listening to this now, then you will be the first to hear that I have just posted a few TikToks. Wait, not yet. They're reels, Instagram reels, 50-second clips of the books that I've read. I've just posted 3 videos. I posted one that's like an intro to my page on YouTube. When you go to my YouTube, there's like a featured video. I need to update that, but I'm gonna put this video as my featured video. Talks about what I do on the podcast and in my blog, like my intention, my goals with the podcast, my goals with the blog. Like I've said, like you've heard if you've listened, I do this for myself to improve myself, to be a better person. But I want to share it because, one, it keeps me accountable. I have to show up every week for myself. I have to show up to improve every week. It encourages me to read every day. I want to write every day, but I'll talk about that, how that goal has changed a little bit. Anyway, I want to share it. I think it's helpful and useful. Eventually, I want to be able to, to like publicize my work so I can reach more people, because I want to help as many people as I can. And I don't know how else to do it than to market myself. But I'm not going to do that yet because that takes money and some strategy, and I have not put the time or energy into that yet, or the savings into it. So I am just posting a bunch of shit. And anyway, there's a guy that I just recently followed on Instagram. See if I can find him. Yeah, it should be easy because I only follow 35 people. He popped up on one of my like featured reels because like I said, I unfollowed everybody that I know and I only follow motivational stuff. So all of my Instagram is just a bunch of motivational stuff. This guy's name is Jay Alderton. He's a British guy and he did what I did in the video. You know, he does the same thing. His caption is, or his bio, helping personal trainers to grow their online business. Follow me for mindset and motivation tips. And then link to his fitness business challenge. So he's incredibly handsome and has a very, very attractive voice. So sexually, I was all in. But then I listened to what he says, and he shares a lot of awesome stuff. And then I also have been following Russell Brand. Anyway, so those two were my inspiration for the video, for the I've made TikToks on the books before, but I did the TikToks, the earlier ones were based off of my podcast, and I would take snippets from my podcast, and that took way too much time. Instead, so this go around, I'm doing it differently. I'm doing TikToks from the books, just directly from the notes, which saves me a ton of time. It's just editing. Editing videos takes a good amount of time. So my goal, I wanted to write in my blog twice a week. I think I'm adjusting that so that I can compensate for this TikTok goal, so I can publish more content. And it is another form of writing. I have to summarize 8 hours of content from a book into 50 seconds, and I have to speak it. So I'm trying to concisely consolidate a book into a TikTok so that, I do the 8 hours of listening from a book. I speak about it for an hour on the podcast, and then I write about it for, maybe the blog entries are sometimes 10 minutes. It takes me 3 hours to write, but 10-minute read, and then 60-second TikToks. Just more content, because that's what this Jay Alderton talks about. You just gotta post. You just gotta put shit out there, and that's what Gary Vee says. Oh, I'm Gary Vee, and I'm Gary Vee, and I'm gonna go to the garage sale and I'm gonna buy and flip all your stuff. And that's how he talks. Yeah, it's all about just putting shit out there, and everybody's putting shit out there all the time. I'm not trying to be rich or famous. I'm trying to be accountable. I want to be helpful. If I can reach a small group of people, I would be so happy. And I already am. I already am reaching a small group, and the audience is slowly growing. And if I put some effort into advertising or marketing or publishing more content, if I could turn my full-time job into sharing content, I would just grow quicker. I wouldn't be, nothing I'm doing is life-altering, or it's not like this isn't a massive breakthrough. I'm following the crowd on videos and content, podcasts. How many fucking podcasts are out there? And how many do you think are being consumed? I'm just adding to the list of things to be consumed. And I think it's easier people will more readily consume TikToks, 30-second TikToks, 60-second TikToks, than they would listen to us read a 10-minute blog, than they would listen to an hour-long podcast, than they would read an 8-hour book. So I'm doing the heavy lifting for you. That's what I'm doing. I'm doing the heavy lifting. And I'm doing it for myself because I'm learning a bunch of new concepts, or I'm regurgitating a bunch of similar concepts, and they're being ingrained in my brain. All the good things, the discussions that we have here, it's all good stuff. So if you're listening now, I just posted 3 videos on Instagram. I'm gonna post them on TikTok later on, and I'll probably just use my same TikTok handle, but I don't know what that is because I deleted TikTok because I'm addicted to it, and because I can't control my feed on TikTok like I can on Instagram. They have the For You. I could just, you load TikTok and they have the For You page, which is a bunch of recommended videos, and then there's the following page. And if I am on TikTok, I should just stick to the following page, never look at the For You page, and just follow a bunch of motivational people on TikTok. I haven't done that. I've just removed myself entirely from it so that I am not completely distracted by it. Anyway, I'm gonna post those videos on TikTok as well. And I'm gonna post. So here's what I'm doing. I'm doing the podcast once a week. I'm doing the blog once a week. I'm gonna post one TikTok a week. For the next little while, I'll probably be doing 2 or 3 a week because I have lots of books that I've read that I want to recover. And then once I go through the books that have stood out the most to me, I'll probably just stick to one book a week. So to make so those 3 things: blog, podcast, now TikToks, every week. I think that's it. And then you know what? Maybe someday I'm gonna start posting my workout videos. Yeah, I'm gonna be like Jocko or Cameron Haynes, and I'm gonna be running up a mountain, or I'll be shooting a bow and arrow and talking about grit. I'll be like Liver King. Nothing in life is earned. Wait, he says nothing in life is given in his story this morning. Nothing in life is given. That shit pumps me up. Nothing in life is given. Everything is earned. Everything is earned. You work for everything. Nothing in life is given. Somebody worked for the shit that you have. All right. So that's my life, and that's where I'm at. Those are my readjusted goals. And again, we live by a set of systems rather than goals because that's a healthier and happier way to live. So those are my goals to help me. Those are my means goals, but my end goals, the system is going to help me reach a place in life where it's contributing to my overall wisdom and availability and ability to help people. And someday I'll be free from the daily stress of a 9-to-5 workload where I won't be required to show up for 8 hours a day to do tasks. I could contribute to the community in different ways, not have to be worried about finances, give other people the same opportunity, employees, start hiring people for my business and give them the same opportunity to be flexible, to be free, to invest in themselves, to become better people, to have a better quality of life. So that's what all of this is about. And I also find deep satisfaction in creating content and sharing it. And I've had a long conversation with my girlfriend about this. When I started making those videos, I was so fucking nervous. I was so nervous because it's weird to do the podcast already, to talk into the mic, into a camera, but I kind of feel like I'm talking to somebody. I get people like Braxton in the chat, messaging, and usually last week there were a bunch of people. I kind of feel like I'm talking to people, but when I was recording those videos for the TikToks, I felt so uncomfortable. I was so uncomfortable because I had written a script pretty much, and I was regurgitating the script. Or reading the script, and I was talking to nobody. And then I have to sit it and edit and listen to myself over and over and over again and pick out what's good and redo parts. And the TikToks aren't perfect. And part of just going for it. So I ultimately said, I'm just going to make it and post it, and whatever criticism I receive is what I receive because of what I talked about with Brene Brown's shitty first draft principle. It's not her principle. It's somebody else's, but she mentioned it. The book that I am recovering today is Do Nothing, and she talks about the shitty first draft. I talked about the shitty first draft last week. I'm just going to make shit and post it because, and then just get better at it over time because I hate the feeling. Okay, I've thought a lot about it. It's not the fact that Um, I am afraid to. I'm not afraid to share shit. Uh, I'm afraid to be creative and be rejected, or to be blown off as cringe or whatever. Because I know what it's like to watch something that's cringe and be like, "Ooh, I hated that," or I hated how they did that, or what they said, and or how they said it. And I hate feeling that people will say that about me. So when I was making those TikToks, I was like, this script is so dumb, or this video is so dumb, or whatever. But I just am going to fucking do it and get better at it over time, because I'm not that great at it. No one's perfect at it initially. No one's perfect at anything they do initially. Some people might start out better than others, but the only way to improve is to keep fucking swimming. Right, Dory? Just keep swimming. So I'm going to keep making the shit. Going to keep posting it. I know it's not all of it's going to be perfect. Some of it, I wrote that Joe Rogan controversy blog and I was excited to write it because I love Joe Rogan, but I could not for the life of me figure out my dialogue. I couldn't put my words together really well. And I ended up with a piece that I didn't really love. And it was about this character that I love and something really controversial. Anyway, sometimes I feel that way about the podcast. I don't cover a book as well as I want, or I don't express my thoughts as well as I want, or I wish I would have said something else. So, that's it. I'm going to move on. We're going to talk about this book. You might remember from a few months ago, I read Do Nothing by Celeste Headlee. Well, I decided to read it again because I think that it's like my Bible. It's become my Bible pretty much. It's a wonderful book. Do Nothing: How to Break Away from Overworking, Overdoing, and Underliving. And it seems silly. I think I still feel silly saying things like I want to be free from the 9 to 5. I don't want to overwork. I want to have time and freedom, financial freedom. It seems like there is like the I think Wasatch from last week said this concept of being super busy, of overworking, is kind of praised because it comes across as you're a hard worker and you get shit done and you're disciplined when you work hard, when you put in extra hours or you take an extra job. There's a status that comes with being an overdoer, an overachiever. And her point of the book is higher quality of life does not mean overproducing or overdoing or overachieving. Higher quality of life actually comes from balancing time and work. And her argument is we don't need to work more than our basic needs, more than to receive our basic needs for the highest quality of life. We all need to work to some extent to this is part of the book. We all need to work to receive our basic needs: food, water, shelter, but everything beyond that is pretty much novelty, except for some human connection pieces that she'll talk about. So that's her argument, and I love to be reminded of that because I know even with I'm trying to take on another project doing these TikToks, and I'm not trying to overachieve. I'm trying to find my the spot, the work that I want to do. The work that I want to do is to be involved in some kind of content creation like this, because I love the research that goes behind it, and then I love to share it and kind of tickle people's brains and their emotions. And it's uncomfortable to hear things like overworking is decreasing the quality of your life, because you think I need to work harder to be happier, or to have more money. I need more money to be happier. But in reality, more money and more work lead to a lower quality of life. There's baseline. You need to make some money. You need to do some work. You can't avoid all of it 100%. You won't survive. You won't survive if you neglect your basic needs. But we don't need to do more than that, really, is her argument. So I talked about this a few months ago, and I have it posted on my bed, or on my, not my bed. I have it on my fucking mantle in my front room. It really is like my Bible. It grounds me and reminds me of what's really important. Just to be not to be like ultra successful. I this last week I had a conference. I had attended this Skype event for my work for Jobber. Jobber is a online software company that manages schedules and invoices and stuff like that. And I use it for carpet cleaning, and they hosted an event where they had several keynote speakers from different businesses, and I attended the event on Skype. Anyway, they had Damon something from Shark Tank. What's his name? Damon John? Damon John. And ultra successful guy, and part of his message was, if you want, I think I actually took a quote from him from it. Let me see if I can find it. Jobber. Here we go. I should talk about all of this and maybe do this book next week, because I'm already 40 minutes in. What the crap? So Damon John, some of his notes, he says, one of the biggest mistakes new businesses make is borrowing too much capital, blah, blah, blah. Get to know your banker. He talks about good debt, bad debt. He mentioned that business owners usually have to work harder than everyone else and not take a paycheck for a while if they really want to make it. So he obviously knows his shit. Part of his message is, if you want to get ahead, you have to put in a lot of sacrifice. You have to sacrifice a lot. You have to put in a lot of work right now. So I hear both sides. If you want to get ahead, you got to work extra hard. But then Celeste says, if you want to have a higher quality of life, you need to pull back on the hard work. You need to do less. She says, do nothing. Sometimes you need to do nothing. So what's it going to be? Are you going to sacrifice your well-being for a lot of money, or you're going to sacrifice a lot of money for your well-being? What are your values? I think that's kind of what it boils down to. And then you get into a place where you have you have loads of money coming in, passive income. You don't have to do any work, and you get big checks. And then you can say shit like this, where you say, "I put in the work, put in the hours, and take what's ours." Thanks. That's The Rock, and that's The Rock. You put in a ton of extra work to make it in the business world, whatever your passion is, and then, and then you're in a comfortable place. Okay, so the way I balance that, the way I take Celeste's advice and I take Damon's advice, because I want to be in his position, and I also want to have a high quality of life. I put in a lot of work every day for my physical well-being, for my mental well-being, and my emotional well-being. And then I have to consider my financial well-being as well. And the way I'm not close to perfect with my finances, but I know that I have to work every day. And just like Liver King says, nothing in life is given. You have to work every day. I'm just going to jump right into the book, because this is what I'm talking about. Let's see. Do Nothing 2.0. So what I'm talking about in chapter 7 of the book, it's called "Do We Live to Work?" Direct quote: "Humans don't need to work in order to be happy." That's an argument that she says gets a lot of people upset. And it's an interesting concept. But she says we don't need to work in order to be happy. And I'll go back and talk about it some more. Humans need food, water, shelter, and sleep at the bare minimum. But she also argues that humans need connection and novelty. And that echoes a lot of what Brett Weinstein and Heather Heying said in their book, Hunter-Gatherer's Guide to the 21st Century. We need human connection, and novelty, as I am learning, is kind of like variety. It's not really things; it's just kind of variety. Knickknacks. Yeah, the dictionary here says, oh, whoops, that's the wrong button. Being new, original, or unusual, a small and inexpensive toy. The quality of being new, original, or unusual. A new or unfamiliar thing or experience. We crave novelty, we need novelty, just like we need connection, sleep, shelter, water, food. So, where was I going? That's chapter 7. But my point was, was I talking about work? Yeah, maybe I was saying I put in a bunch of work every day because, like Damon says, if you want to get ahead, you have to put in the work. So I do this podcast, I do the blog, I'm going to make fucking TikToks, and I'm trying to remove myself from carpet cleaning. Not really remove myself. I just want to spend less time physically doing the work. I'm incredibly fortunate to be in the position I'm at. I have full control of a business that is operational and makes me money, and it's not failing. I mean, I couldn't be luckier. It's paying off my debt paying off my business debt. It pays off my rent. It pays for all of my shit, right? So I'm incredibly fortunate to have something like this, to have a good job. And I want to set it up and I think in reality, I think everybody could do this. Everybody could take the money from their job and turn it into passive income. That's the point. Instead of just waking up and working every day, you could. I mean, a lot of people do. They work paycheck to paycheck. They use their paycheck to pay their rent, to buy food. They don't have much left over because they just use that money to spend it on shit that they want. And that's what I'm doing right now. I don't sacrifice the things that I want right now for my future financial well-being as much as I should, as much as I want to, because one, I don't know exactly how to do it, and that's why I'm doing all of this still too. But I know that it's important. Like, anybody can do that. Anybody can create passive income so they don't have to go to work every day. But some people don't care. They either don't care to learn, or they're intimidated and never take vulnerable steps to learn, to do it. Like I follow Grant Cardone on Instagram, on Twitter, and I saw he posted something yesterday about take the money that you have saved for retirement and invest and give it. Well, he pretty much says, give it to me and I'll invest it in real estate and I will make you 10x. That's his thing, is 10x. I'll make you 10x on your money. Instead of saving for retirement, invest your money for retirement, and you will make more money for your retirement and for your life right now. And it'll turn it. You'll become free from the daily labor. But like I said, everyone needs to work every day. Nothing is given. So the work I want to do is this. If I can wake up and I can focus on my podcast, my blog every day, and create content, do that for work, that's all I want to do. That's what I want to do. I'm trying to remove myself from labor that is less meaningful, carpet cleaning, so I can focus on something like this, something like content creation, meaningful content creation. I don't want to be like the LA, the TikTok house stars that are, they're doing this shit on the camera and like whatever, dancing with their shirts off. And it's all sexy, and I don't want to do that. It's not meaningful creation. It's just entertainment, and people want entertainment too. So it's not like they shouldn't. That's just not what I want to do. It's not what I want to make. I want to make meaningful shit. I'm going to take a break and get some coffee. I'm not even going to be able to talk about this fucking book. I'm going off. It's delicious, but it doesn't quench the palate. I'll get some water. uh, it just seems so privileged to me. I feel guilty wanting to be free from daily labor because I have everyone in my life, most people in my life work really hard. They go to their jobs, they work hard in their careers, and they make money, and they sacrifice time to do that shit. And it's noble. It's highly revered among in our culture. Like working hard in your job is awesome, but it's not the only way to live. I want to live away from the mundane labor. I do not want to clean carpets any longer than I have to. And so you're going to make someone else clean carpets for you so you don't have to? Yeah, kinda. Carpet cleaning for me it's a cash builder. It's a necessary job. It's necessary. People need their shit cleaned. So it puts cash in your pocket. The point is not to take that cash and to just live off that cash. The point is to take that cash and invest it in something else to generate cash for you, more cash. And then you do that enough times so you don't have to work for the cash. The cash is now working for you. This is just investing 101, right? This is building assets. So that's the point. But I don't think our culture emphasizes investing in assets because I don't know why. Because I don't know why. But you don't go to school learning how to invest in assets. You go to school to learn, to get an education, to get a good job, right? You don't go to school to start a business and to generate assets and generate income generating assets, to create income generating assets. That's not what school teaches you. That's not what I learned anyway. I barely learned shit anyway. So I'm saying the same shit over and over again, but I'm really kind of venting today. I'm trying to remove myself from the daily labor to do something like this that's meaningful. Okay? All right, do I have to say it any more times? All right, am I even going to be able to talk about this book? I took notes again. Well, I copied the notes from last time, and I included new notes that I got from the book. Yeah, but I got a lot of notes because it's an awesome book. But you know what? Maybe I'm not going to do this book today. Maybe I'll do this book next week, and maybe I'll keep talking about this. I got a lot of jobber notes that I can talk about. I got notes from that event. I think I'll do that instead. So I talked about so this is not Do Nothing by Celeste Headley anymore. This is now Jobber. Jobber Professional Development Day. That's what this is now. Yeah. Plot twist. Jobber Professional Development Day podcast. All right. So I talked about Daymond John, Shark Tank. I will, since we're talking about this now, to emphasize good debt and bad debt. It's a pretty straightforward concept, but he just put it in really clear terms. Good debt is equals someone else is. I didn't write this very well to read. Good debt is what someone else is paying for, like renting a house that you own and someone else is paying the mortgage. Bad debt is what you pay for, getting a loan or paying campaigns that aren't covering your nut. I don't know. That's how I wrote it. My bad debt is I bought 2 Wave Runners 2 years ago, or 2 years ago, and right now I spend like $600. It's like $500 a month to pay off the loan, and they sit in a they shit They sit in a empty lot by my mom's house for 7 months, 8 months of the year. And last year, I used them a total of 2 times. They were a terrible investment. And I'm trying so hard to get rid of them, but they're kind of the only thing that I have to get me to go to PAL with my buddy's family. So I keep them because I want to go to PAL so bad. But they're terrible. It's terrible bad debt. They suck cash. They do not create cash. But a good debt, if I bought those and someone else was paying for them, like if I could rent them out and someone else was paying for them, yeah, that's good debt. That's a business. That's what good business is. Buying shit and letting other people pay for it. That's good debt. So you buy a house and then you live in it, and that's bad debt. But if you buy a house and you rent it to other people and they're paying for it, that's good debt. That's just debt 101. But I liked how he put it. Yeah. So let's see. Besides the keynote speakers, there were several workshops. I attended one called Hiring for Business Growth. Always be hiring as a business owner. Don't wait to hire until you need to. He says that Walmart and Amazon employ something like 4% of America. And this guy, small business owner in Canada, he says, I struggle to hire 2 people, but Amazon and Walmart, it doesn't seem like they struggle to find thousands of employees every year. So he says it's because not only do Amazon and Walmart advertise for customers, but they advertise for employees. They're always finding new employees. They're recruiting. So good business is always recruiting, like they're always looking for new business. So always be hiring. Customers are interested in price and speed and will pay more for a quick turnaround. This is excellent for carpet cleaning because lots of people need emergency shit and will pay more for it. Yeah, I've noticed that. Companies that scale have marketing campaigns to find new customers and new. Yeah, okay. Another workshop, retaining employees. This is all, this is really, I tried to find the workshops that were applicable to me as a small business. You don't have a hiring problem, you have a vision problem. People want to buy into a bigger mission, not just be labored. This is how you retain employees. Where am I taking White Glove? Why would anyone want to work at White Glove? What's my vision? I wrote down branches of labor. Yeah, because at some point, if I want to be free from White Glove, being free is not the right way to say it, because I really am proud of what White Glove is. But I want my dilemma is I'm the only one that knows how to run the business. I don't even do it that well. I just know how to keep it alive, how to get the little new business that I get and to retain it. At some point, to be kind of like what we talked about with Tim Ferriss's 4-hour work week. Is that who wrote that? I think it was Tim Ferriss. I'm going to double check. 4-hour work week. Yeah, by Tim Ferriss. Right on. So part of it is scaling your business. It's also the E-Myth. I think that's who wrote this section or who hosted this section. Someone from E-Myth Worldwide. Remember that? The Entrepreneur Myth. That one was by Michael Esther. Look at me, dude. I got so many books in my head. This is why I do it. E-Myth by Michael Gerber. So I know how to run all the aspects of my business. I can find new business. I do the work. I bill the work. I invoice. I do the accounting. I do all of it. At some point, I need to get someone else to do all of the other steps. And then I can supervise it and not have to be a part of it every single day. And then grow from there. Get more work, get more employees. Get more work, get more employees. Get more work, hire another manager or supervisor, whatever. More employees, more technicians, more accounting people, more marketing people, more customer service people, right? That's how you grow a business. So branches of labor that I wrote down were administration, production, sales, marketing, and HR. So eventually, I'll have to, if I want to grow a business legitimately, I'll have to find out how to grow all of those areas. What's in it for me? For the employees. All right, yeah, this is how to retain employees, a bunch of things to make them feel special. Social staff events, advancement to leadership opportunities, gift cards, be part of a business that gives to charity. Awesome. Your home service business might be a stepping stone in someone's career, someone else's career. Yeah. Like White Glove isn't my end all be all. I imagine it's not anybody else's end all be all. It's an opportunity to learn excellent work ethic skills, work administration skills, to feel loved and included in a business, but it's not your end all be all. You're here to learn awesome skills. For me, this is an opportunity to learn how a business operates. And it's not to learn how to be the best carpet. I don't want to be the best carpet cleaner of all time. I want to learn excellent business skills so I can operate a business. And perhaps the podcast will be a business for me down the road, and I will have experience to know how to grow a business. So I could do this, something else that I love more full time. I do yoga. I could be a yoga instructor full time, or a yoga business owner. Whatever, musician, have a music company, whatever, just whatever. That's the point, is doing White Glove to learn how business operates, how to scale a business, and apply those principles. And that's what I should give other employees too, the opportunity to grow. It's not to be a technician in a carpet cleaning business, end all be all. I don't think that's anybody's dream. And if it is, good on you. You're probably the best person to hire because you want to clean carpets all of the time. That's awesome. And you'd be an excellent asset to a business like this. You'd be highly valuable. So reach out to me if that's you. Best employees are high commitment, high skill. Yep, high commitment and high skill. The people that are dedicated to their craft. That's awesome. Those are the best employees. What was the book that I read a while ago? I made this note. What book talks about not needing to hire top skilled employees? That you want to develop a system, a sure enough system, that the lowest skilled people won't fuck it up. I can't remember what the book was, but I remember the concept. You want to, I think it was that Christian guy. What was that book? Maybe I'll probably recognize it if I look through my library. He talked about how you want your system to be so, 80-20 sales and marketing by Perry Marshall. I'm pretty sure that was the one. You want your business system to be so refined that even the lowest skilled people can operate in whatever capacity, and which means you can pay them the least amount. I think maybe that's a good baseline, but overall, I want higher quality performers because, and I'm willing to pay more for higher quality because you have better results and happier customers. You have a better business instead of lowest skilled people with lowest commitment. I think I don't know. I think that's kind of an ethics thing. How much are you willing to pay your employees? I think if you pay more, you'll receive higher caliber. Like that person that's dedicated to being a carpet cleaning technician isn't going to settle for a low salary. They're going to be very competitive. And if you want high performers, you pay a high price. And I would rather have high performers and pay high price because at the end of the day, for me, ethically, I want to contribute to everyone else's well-being as well. I don't want to scrape nickel and penny so that I receive the most amount of profits. I want to divvy out the profit from all of the work that's put in with everyone that's involved. Everybody that's involved that's working hard should be rewarded for it. And that's what Do Nothing is. Fuck, this book. I want to talk about this book, but I'm going to just do Jobber today. The part of the issue in Do Nothing in the modern world, the modern economy, is production has skyrocketed, which means profits has skyrocketed, but profits are not evenly distributed amongst employees and businesses. They're kept within the pockets of few at the top. And the CEOs and the shareholders. That's where all the profits go. So wages are still very low compared to the profits of production. And I would rather contribute to distributing profits and taking less profit for myself because it's not about me. It's about everybody involved. I could start an awesome business, that, like, ethically, to me, I could start an awesome business like a carpet cleaning business and take it to the moon, a $10 million carpet cleaning business, and I want to distribute the profit from all of the hard work, from the production, with all of the employees that are working their asses off too. That's the, I would rather do that than say, yeah, we made 200% from last year this year, and your wages are the same. that's that's not the. Why would they work hard? Why would you wouldn't be able to retain high caliber employees or just high caliber people in general? And they'll envy you. They won't even envy you. They'll despise you. They'll resent you as an owner, as a business leader, as their leader. Right? So that's yeah, you can hire low caliber people, but I think the principle is still the same. Your system, your business system, needs to be highly refined so that nothing gets missed. No matter who's doing the work, they can always perform exceptionally, or at least, the very least, not miss any steps. That's a good business system. Wasatch. Hey, good morning, Wasatch. Facts, but that's how corporate America works. I know exactly. Yeah, exactly. I think it's unethical. I think that's why people are pissed. I think that's why a lot of people on the left and the right are pissed. But as a person get to I'm just accountable to myself, and then now as a business owner, I'm accountable to my crew, to my people, to my tribe. So I can take advantage of them and take all the profits, or I can celebrate with my people. But that also means if we have a shitty year, or if we're engaged in a shitty campaign and we're losing money, that means that I'm gonna, are the employees gonna take as heavy of a loss as I am as the business owner? Who knows? It makes me want to blow my brains out. That is how the .org. Oh, that's how the organization that I work for manages things. Yeah, yeah. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. I think it's just how business is done. I don't know. I think it's a large corporation problem, that more of that than it is a small business problem. I don't think small businesses operate. I don't think they're able to operate like large corporations do. But large corporations are pretty much the backbone of the U.S. economy because they, just the amount of people that they employ. It is what it is. Yeah, it is, until you're able to do something about it. I'm gonna just try to do it in my own sphere. You should try to do it in your own sphere as much as you can. I don't know. That's kind of the point. Okay, listen to a nice lady named Sarah McAllister, owner of Go Clean Co., a Canadian-based house cleaning company. Also, the fit today is looking nice. Yes, sir. Got that vest on today. Happy President's Day. It's keeping me nice and warm. She says your price point reflects your service. If you are a premium service, charge premium prices and own it. Yeah, that's been a huge learning curve for me, because there are so many cheap carpet cleaning companies out there. There's so many cheap ones. And in the early days, I've always tried to compete with the cheap guys, because the cheap guys are the ones that win a lot of business, but they're not the ones that retain a lot of business. Cheap business usually means cheap labor, and or cheap performance, I should say, at the very least. And if you want to charge high prices, you should be high quality. So I've gone back and forth just in my own head with carpet cleaning about it's hard to say, yeah, we offer premiums. I offer premium cleaning, and I also offer like the bare minimum. But no one's ever really happy with just like with the cheap shit. And just to paint it in your heads a little clearer, to clean carpets effectively, you need to do 4 things. And the acronym, it's called CHAT. You need the appropriate chemical, heat, agitation, and time. This is how you effectively clean carpet, to break down soil and carpet. You apply the appropriate chemical with heat. You agitate it with however whatever tools you have to agitate, and then you let it sit. You let it dwell time, and then you rinse it out slowly and several times. You extract it, and that takes a lot of time in itself. So to do it well, to clean carpets well, takes time, and depending on your business model, you can go through all of those steps really fast. You can neglect steps. You can put less chemical down. You can use less agitation, less dwell time, and you just charge cheaper. But then you just don't get you don't get the same quality result. You don't get clean carpet. So I think over time I've just learned I'm not going to settle for. I'm not going to say that I do the bare minimum, because it usually doesn't turn out well. It's kind of like, I always go back to an analogy about cleaning jeans, because that's how my dad described it. If you spill something on your jeans, you can be thorough, or you can be fast. Or just cheap. You take a wet cloth and just kind of scrub it a little, or you can you put Tide to Go on it, and then you throw it in the wash, and you go through the whole system to clean your jeans. And you can clean your jeans consistently once a week or after each wear, or you can clean them once a month or once every 6 months, and you'll just have shitty looking jeans. Anyway, I'm spending way too much time on this, but that's the principle. If you your price point should reflect your service. If you're a premium service, charge premium prices. All right, way too much chitter chatter on that topic. She says, stick to what you know and what you're best at. Nice. Cleaning is word of mouth. Yeah. Okay, cool. Another workshop I attended was The Experience is the Product. And this is for the E-Myth lady. The experience is the product. That's pretty much the whole point of the book. Go listen to the podcast if you're interested in more about the E-Myth. The experience is the true product of your business. Jeff Bezos once said, your brand is what people say about you when you're not in the room. Having a brand promise is a fundamental tool to your business. So, yeah, it's not, I don't know if it was from that book, but I've read something else too, that you don't sell a product, you sell an experience, or your experience is the product. So there was it probably was from E-Myth, but the principle was you don't sell. Told the story about a makeup company or a hair product company, and the CEO said, "We don't sell makeup, we sell beauty," and so the point. Yeah, that's how they view their business. We don't sell the makeup. We sell beauty. We sell confidence to people and cleanliness and we don't sell makeup. So, as a carpet cleaner, I don't sell carpet cleaning services. I sell satisfaction, or I sell reassurance and cleanliness and sanitation and carpet longevity. Security, carpet security. Yeah, I had a gimmicky ad for earlier podcasts about cleaning carpets, and carpets will over time will attract viruses. So we clean sanitation, or we sell sanitation. That's our experience. That's the carpet cleaning experience. So what are you selling? What's your product? It's the experience. And then another workshop. It's called Run Like Clockwork. And this was everything that I needed to hear about how to systemize your business, what's some effective steps I could take today. The goal isn't to grow your business, it's to scale your business. And for those of you who don't understand what that means, the way I understand it, scaling a business, I'm going to Google it too so I could get a good definition, but scaling a business, scale a business meaning. Scaling a business has more to do with, wow, now I can't put the words together. Score.org says scaling a business means setting the stage to enable and support growth in your company. To support growth. That's the difference. It means having the ability to grow without being hampered. It requires planning, some funding, and the right systems, staff, processes, technology, and partners. It's not to grow your business, it's to scale it. And scaling is setting the stage to enable and support the growth. Okay, that's way better than anything I could have conjured. The goal is to scale your business, to grow it, but to have systems in place that support that growth. The entrepreneur's goal should be bleh. The entrepreneur's goal should be to create a strategic direction, not to do the work. I'm the only one that knows how to do the work in my business. My goal should be to create a strategic direction for the business, not to do the work. They gave 3 actionable steps to run your business like clockwork. Consider yourself a shareholder, not a CEO or owner. This one, number 2, this one's the biggest one for me. Plan a 4-week vacation in 12 to 18 months from now to see if the system you've created in your business can function without you. If the thought of that gives you a panic, it's a sign you have things to fix. If I can't step away from my business for 4 weeks, if it'll all crumble and then do nothing, it all goes back to do nothing as well. If you can't muster the thought of stepping away from your department or from your daily labor for 4 weeks because it'll crumble, you're afraid it'll crumble, or there'll be so many problems, so many stops, then you're not free. You're not free from your business. You're not free from the labor. You don't have free time. You don't have access to free time. You're bonded. You're bound. You're bound to your work, to your job. So the goal is to plan the vacation in 12 to 18 months from today, and create and figure out how to create systems along the way so that when you leave, your business will be able to function effectively without you. That's my goal. So guess what? I'm saying it today. That I heard that last week. So in February 2023, for, let's see, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Sometime before August 2023, I'm going to take a 4-week vacation, 4-week hiatus, disconnect from White Glove, and I'm going to create a system that will allow it to operate without me. And I know I can get it done. It will take, what did that website say? It requires planning, some funding, and the right systems, staff, processes, technology, and partners. It takes a lot of help. So that's the goal. I'm going to do it. And I'm committing to it now. It's my goal before August 2023. Fuck yeah. If whoever's listening, if you keep me accountable, and I should just put it in my calendar now too. I'm going to make reminders, and not right now, but I'm going to make reminders so I don't forget. Okay. Where's your time going? Avoid cram and scramble. Conduct regular time tracking analysis to maximize how you use your time, your productivity. Is what I do every day something I can trash, trim, transfer, or treasure? That's how you manage your time better. And then the last speaker of the event was Jocko Willink, the one and only Navy SEAL from the author of the book Extreme Ownership. I posted a TikTok about him. His message was a pre-recorded thing. He'd covered part 2, I think, of the book, The Laws of Combat, and I'll reiterate them. Again, Jocko was a Navy SEAL commander in Iraq, and he shares his leadership experience from Iraq, and now he shares it with business owners, business leaders, to incorporate it in their business plans, in their life, because it's an effective team translates from Navy SEAL to business owner. It goes both ways. So he says the laws of combat are cover and move, which is teamwork. Simple, The most brilliant plan is a simple plan that everyone can understand. Prioritize and execute. Focus on one problem at a time. Biggest problem first, then move on. Detach from the chaos and your emotions. Prioritize and execute. Decentralized command. Everybody leads. Divvy out responsibilities to subordinate leaders. You're still the leader, but divvy out the responsibilities. Everyone needs to understand the strategic objective of why they're doing what they're doing in order to make good decisions. And then the last one of laws of combat is extreme ownership. This means making no excuses, no pointing fingers. Give your team ownership. Don't dictate. Give them control. Ownership starts with you. It's the only thing you can control. So excellent advice from tons of business people, bunch of leadership experience, and I think it's all practical. It's all practical advice. That's why I love consuming shit like this and then talking about it and sharing it in a podcast, because anybody listening can apply what I'm saying. I'm trying to do it myself. And I don't do it all. I read and learn a bunch of awesome shit, but I don't even take in everything that I say all the time, because it's hard. It takes discipline and sacrifice to sit down, create a plan. Just like this thing says, it requires planning, funding, right systems, staff, processes, technology, and partners. It's hard to create all of those things. It takes giving up weekends with your friends, out partying. It takes giving up your some evenings. I like to come home, hang out with my girlfriend, eat food, play video games after work, when I'm tired. It takes sacrificing that time to create these systems. It takes a lot of planning, and it takes meditation and thinking about your values, because if you don't understand what you value, you can't create anything meaningful. If you don't understand what you hold and what you cherish, how are you going to know what to do next? How are you going to know what systems to create? You have to spend lots of time thinking first. First, you have to spend a lot of time thinking about everything that you cherish and why you would do anything. And a lot of people, they go to their jobs and they're miserable, or at least they're just dissatisfied, and they don't know why, but they don't spend the time to think about it, and so they don't know what to fix. They don't know what to change. So they go to their jobs, they have a pretty shitty time, and then they don't know what to fix, and then they just keep doing it. But if you take time to actually think about why you are having a shitty experience, you could start making decisions to fix those things, to make different decisions, and to have a better experience. And I've spent a lot of time in the last 8 months that I've been doing this podcast thinking about all of this. And I still know I've only scratched the surface to everything that there is to uncover with self-help and self-improvement. And the point isn't to understand everything. It's about starting to move forward. It's about moving forward. It's not about knowing everything and then making decisions. It's about making decisions and then learning something the hard way, or making decisions and realizing that you made a good decision. Most of the time, I learn shit the hard way. I am alumni at the School of Hard Knocks. And I'm like I said, I sometimes take the easier road and I neglect making those hard decisions, and I succumb to my comforts, because there's nothing better than your comforts, than eating junk food or playing excessive video games or watching Netflix all the time, or whatever you do to neglect your own improvement. And we're all guilty of it. The point is, understand your values and strive to make better decisions all the time. And if my goal is to be just to create a business system where I can employ people and create a safe and really healthy work environment for other people that can operate a business with me, and then I can step away when I need to focus on something like this. I'm trying to create my own future. And I understand I'm coming from an extremely privileged place. But if I come from this place where I'm able to make those kind of decisions, I want to take advantage of it and be able to help other people who aren't as privileged. I just want to contribute to to creating a better world and to lifting people up and giving people purpose and meaning and helping them find things that fulfill their purpose, helping them understand their purpose. That's the shit that turns me on, and it's what I want to be engaged in. So this seminar, this Jobber Professional Development Day, was awesome because it helped. It just reminds me of what I value in my business as a business person, in my personal finances, and it gives me practical steps that I can take to move towards those goals. It's not rocket science. It's hard though. It's hard because it's very untraditional. To say something like I don't want millions of dollars. I don't want to make millions of dollars. I'm comfortable making maybe a little bit more than a livable wage so that I can still do fun things, but I don't want to be engaged in the daily labor. I need to work every day, and I do. I work really hard every day. I work on my physical self, my mental self, and my emotional self every day, or at least I try to. I make attempts every day, and sometimes I fail. But the point is, I know I work really hard. I need to work really hard, and I don't want to be strapped to meet. I don't want to be strapped to labor. I don't want to be strapped to carpet cleaning. I want to expand my horizon and liberate myself from the that grind. And it's a job that's putting cash in my pocket, but I want to be responsible with that cash to liberate myself. You know, you look at people like Grant Cardone, who flies in private jets everywhere he goes and talks about the millions of dollars that he has, and it's easy to resent people like that. But I think I don't know his background. He's just an example of someone that has done something with his money besides just working a job to get a paycheck. He did something with the paycheck. He earned the paycheck and then has used the money to do something else. Like he wasn't stopped at making a paycheck. He worked like Joe Rogan. Again, I really admire Joe Rogan, someone he worked construction. He made a paycheck and he invested the paycheck into his comedy and into martial arts and used to support himself to do those things that he enjoyed, and he became really good at those things, and then now he does what he does. Invested it in his podcast, and now it's the biggest consumed media in the world. And then like Jordan Peterson's another example of you work daily labor, make the paycheck, but invest it in something else. You don't make the paycheck from labor and then live from paycheck to paycheck. You invest it into something else. You invest it into your education. You invest it literally into real estate or into stocks, whatever. That's why I read that Intelligent Investor book that I learned basically nothing from, because it was a hard read and it was like 16 hours. It was tough. I need to go back. I got basically nil. But the point, as always, understand your values. Take time to understand your values, and then make decisions every day to exemplify those values. I need to put that on a banister behind me, because that's like the point of everything that I read. Understand your values, and then do things every day to exemplify, to bring you closer to your values. What if you don't understand what's important to you? You can't make decisions that make you happy, because you don't know what makes you happy. You don't know what brings you peace. You have to know your values, and then you have to make decisions that bring you closer to your values. And like I've talked about before, I sacrifice time playing video games with my friends to get sleep, because I value my short-term and my long-term health. And I value the time I put into this podcast and into my business. And if I stay up late playing video games, I'm going to neglect some of those things. I used to stay up till midnight every night playing video games, getting up, and then would get up at 8. I wasn't working out, I wasn't eating well, and I'd go straight to cleaning carpets. And then I learned over time, if I want to create effective systems for my business, I have to invest time into my business. Time. And that means I have to sacrifice things that aren't bringing me closer to my values. Have I reiterated everything enough for you to understand? I think I've just coughing up a bunch of a bunch of shit that I've said hundreds of times, but that's kind of the point. Who was the person that said if you want to become a master of something, you have to put in 10,000 hours? Every hour of podcasting I do is bring me closer to that 10,000 hours. Every book I read is 8 hours closer to that whatever wisdom I'm trying to achieve or whatever knowledge. It's all practice into the grand scheme of things. And it's not about consuming everything first and then making decisions. It's consuming the shit and making decisions at the same time. Making good decisions and succeeding, and making bad decisions and failing and learning from those failures, and to help you make good decisions later on. Right? That's what it's all about, baby. That's how we keep the train rolling. That's why we're rolling with the podcast every week. And even though I don't get 11 million viewers like Rogan does, I do this because, I just shocked myself with my mic. I might not get 11 million viewers. Hell, I might not even get 11 viewers. But I do it because I do it for myself first. Because I just spent an hour and a half talking about what's really important to myself. This is part of my critical thinking process. I'm able to express my ideas, consider them, hear them spoken, and then decide whether what I said is true or not. And again, it starts with fucking doing something. It starts with doing something. That's the podcast. That's what we're doing today. Maybe next week I'll talk about do nothing. But since I already did this book, maybe I won't. Maybe I'll just pick up another new book. But I did want to reread it because I wanted to make a TikTok of it because, like I said, it's one of my favorites. I made TikToks of some books that are more recent. So I wanted to reread this and reestablish the core principles in my brain so that the TikTok sounded nice. Yeah? How we doing? An hour and a half in? Not bad. So thanks for tuning in if you did. I don't know what I'm going to do for next week. It'll either be about do nothing or it'll be about something totally different. But in either case, we'll be back next week. Cadence Podcast on YouTube and Facebook. Live Monday mornings, 8 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. Or I'll be on Twitch. I don't know if I don't think I should just mention the Twitch because no one knows. Anyway, or the podcast goes live on Tuesday, 8 a.m. on Spotify and iTunes. Find it all under Cadence Podcast. You find the blog. You find access to everything that I do on my blog, cadenkellysblog.wordpress.com. And then if you want, or you can read my shit on Substack, cadenkelly.substack.com. You'll see, and then you're going to just start seeing TikTok. So follow me on Instagram, follow me on TikTok. I'll get I'll update my handle on TikTok and clean it up or something. I don't know, just make it available. And then start sharing that as well. But in any case, for sure on Instagram, Caden R. Kelly. Maybe I'll change my handle to Caden's Podcast on Instagram as well so that everybody's on the same page. Or you find me on Twitter, KKelly_7. I should just change everything to Caden's Podcast because that's all I'm doing on the social media. Thanks for tuning in if you do. I hope at the end of the day that everything that I share is helpful in some way because it's hugely meaningful to me to know that what you hear, if you're participating in the chat or if you're just listening as an anonymous listener, I hope that somehow something you hear is contributing to your daily decisions to give you a higher quality of life. At the end of the day, all of us, we can all do something to improve the quality of our life. It just starts with fucking thinking about it. What can I do better? And then doing it. And then maybe that didn't work out, so you do something else. But keep thinking about it. Keep listening to shit, reading shit, consuming good media, live better lives, be happier people, more at peace, make better decisions. If everybody spent time thinking about what they valued and they strive to make good decisions, I think everybody would be in a better place. I think there's too many people who don't put that kind of time in. So when shitty things happen in our government or in our community, like I don't know, maybe a pandemic or riots in Canada or propagating news like war in Ukraine, if you don't understand your values, then it's hard to make good decisions. And there's not much you can do to influence a war in Ukraine, or even to in the protests in Canada. There's not much you can do. But if you don't understand your values, then you don't know if what's happening is good or bad, right? I don't know. I'm kind of going off. I should just end it. Hour and a half. Again, thanks for showing up. Next week, I think is next week the last day of the month, huh? 28th. Last episode of February, and then we'll be in March, getting closer to summer. Thanks for showing up. We'll be here next time. Go do something hard this week. Go challenge yourself. Sacrifice some comfort time for uncomfortable time. And if it's meaningful, if you are doing it mindfully, then you'll come out with greater wisdom, stronger, wiser, and do it every day. But if you can only do it once a week, do it once a week. At least do something challenging or uncomfortable once a week. Go to the gym, read something from a book, meditate, do some yoga, stretching, swap out the TV for walking in the neighborhood or time with your spouse or your partner, with your fucking kids if you have kids, and just try, think about your values, think about what's important to you, and make better decisions. We'll see you next week.
して